Mike, tell me what you're afraid of. A 13-year-old boy sits across from an old man in a small gym in upstate New York. The boy doesn't answer. He's been asked about his dreams, his goals, his ambitions. But never this. Never about fear. "I'm not afraid of nothing," the boy says. His voice cracks. The lisp makes him sound younger than he is. The old man smiles. "Then you'll never be a champion." Champions are terrified. The question is, what do you do with that fear? That conversation changed everything. Because Mike Tyson wasn't created in a boxing ring. He was created in the mind of a 72-year-old man who understood something nobody else did. Fear isn't the enemy. Fear is the weapon. This is the story of Cus D'Amato, the man who took a broken, scared kid from Brooklyn and turned him into the most feared fighter on the planet. This is how Iron Mike was born. 1980, Catskill, New York. A juvenile detention facility sends a 13-year-old Mike Tyson to meet an old boxing trainer named Cus D'Amato. Mike has been arrested 38 times. Assault, robbery, theft. He's a street kid from Brownsville, Brooklyn, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in America. No father, mother struggling with addiction, older brother in prison. Mike is on the fast track to the same fate, but someone sees something in him. Bobby Stewart, a counselor at the detention center and former boxer, notices Mike can fight. Not box, fight. Raw, brutal, uncontrolled violence. Stewart makes a call to his old trainer, Cus D'Amato. Cus is 72 years old, lives above a boxing gym in Catskill, a small town hours from New York City. He hasn't trained a champion in over 20 years. His last great fighter, Floyd Patterson, became the youngest heavyweight champion in history in 1956. After that, nothing. Cus became paranoid, bitter, convinced the boxing establishment was against him. Most people think Cus is washed up, crazy, living in the past. But when Bobby Stewart brings Mike Tyson to that gym, something changes in Cus's eyes. He sees what nobody else sees. Potential. Not just physical potential, psychological potential. Mike is 13 years old, 5 feet 10 inches, over 200 pounds, thick neck, wide shoulders, fast hands. But more importantly, he's angry. Deeply, violently angry. The kind of anger that usually destroys people. But in the right hands, that anger can be shaped, molded, weaponized. Cus makes Mike an offer. "Move in with me. Train with me. I'll make you the youngest heavyweight champion in history." Mike laughs. This old man living above a gym in the middle of nowhere is going to make him a champion? It sounds insane. But Mike has nowhere else to go, no other options. So he says yes. What happens next changes boxing history forever. Cus D'Amato doesn't teach boxing the way everyone else does. He teaches a system, a philosophy, a way of thinking. Most trainers focus on technique, footwork, punch combinations, defense. These things matter, but they're not what wins fights. What wins fights is what happens in the mind. Cus believes this completely. He's studied psychology, philosophy, warfare. He's read Sun Tzu, Clausewitz, Machiavelli. He understands that fighting is mental warfare disguised as physical combat. The fight is won or lost far away from witnesses, Cus tells Mike. Behind the lines, in the gym, out on the road, long before I dance under those lights. Cus teaches Mike 3 core principles. Principle 1, fear is normal. Use it. Most trainers tell fighters to overcome fear, to be brave, to ignore the terror of stepping into a ring where someone is trying to hurt you. Cus teaches the opposite. Fear is your friend, he says. Fear makes you sharp, alert, focused. The question isn't whether you're afraid. The question is, are you more afraid than your opponent? Mike learns to recognize fear in himself and weaponize it. When his heart races before a fight, that's not weakness. That's his body preparing for war. And more importantly, he learns to recognize fear in his opponents. The moment they blink, the moment they step back, the moment they stop believing they can win, that's when Mike attacks. Principle 2. Intimidation is half the battle. Cus understands something most trainers ignore. Boxing is as much theater as sport. The way you walk to the ring matters. The way you stare at your opponent matters. The aura you project matters. Make them afraid before you even throw a punch, Cus says. Mike learns to enter the ring like a predator. No robe, no socks, just black trunks and murder in his eyes. No dancing, no showboating, just walking, slowly, purposefully, like death arriving on schedule. By the time the bell rings, most opponents are already broken. They've convinced themselves they can't win. And in boxing, if you believe you can't win, you won't. Principle 3. Be first. Be violent. Be relentless. Cus's fighting style is called peekaboo. High guard, constant head movement, slip punches, get inside, destroy the body, then finish with headshots. But the style isn't just about technique. It's about psychology. You make your opponent miss, over and over. They throw their best punch and hit nothing but air. Their confidence erodes. Their arms get tired. They start to hesitate. And the moment they hesitate, you attack. Fast, brutal, overwhelming. You don't give them time to think, time to recover, time to believe they can survive. Mike absorbs all of this, not just with his body, but with his mind. He watches film of great fighters with Cus. They study Jack Dempsey, Roberto Duran, Marciano. Cus narrates every movement, every mistake, every moment of weakness. See that? Cus says, pointing at the screen. He blinked. That's fear. That's when you end him. Mike is 14 years old and learning to read human fear like a language. But Cus isn't just a trainer. He becomes Mike's legal guardian, his father, the only stable adult Mike has ever had. Cus's girlfriend, Camille Ewald, helps raise Mike, gives him structure, discipline. For the first time in his life, Mike has a home. Not just a place to sleep, but a real home, with rules, with love, with people who believe in him. Cus sits with Mike every night. They talk about boxing, about life, about philosophy. Cus is old. He knows he doesn't have much time left. He's pouring everything he knows into this kid from Brooklyn. You're going to be the youngest heavyweight champion in history, Cus tells Mike. Not as a hope, as a fact, as a certainty. And Mike believes him, because Cus never lies, never makes promises he can't keep. If Cus says it, it's true. Mike trains 6 hours a day. Road work at 5 a.m., gym work all afternoon, film study at night. No friends, no distractions, just boxing, just the dream. By 15, Mike is sparring professional fighters and winning. By 16, he's knocking out grown men. By 17, he's ready to turn pro. But there's a problem. Cus is dying. Cancer. He's been fighting it for years, but it's winning. His body is failing. He's weak, frail. The man who built Mike Tyson is running out of time. November 1985. Mike makes his professional debut. First-round knockout. Cus is there, watching, smiling. His life's work finally realized. But 8 days later, Cus dies. Age 77. Heart failure. Mike is 19 years old. He just lost the only father he ever had. The man who saved him. The man who believed in him when nobody else did. The man who gave him everything. Mike fights through the grief, because that's what Cus would want. He keeps training, keeps winning, keeps destroying everyone in front of him. 13 months after Cus dies, Mike Tyson becomes the youngest heavyweight champion in history, age 20, exactly as Cus predicted. Mike dedicates the victory to Cus. "He's with me," Mike says in the post-fight interview. "He'll always be with me." For the next few years, Mike Tyson is unstoppable. 37 wins, 33 knockouts, undisputed heavyweight champion, the most feared fighter on the planet. But without Cus, something is missing. The discipline starts to crack. The focus starts to drift. The people around Mike aren't protecting him. They're using him. Don King takes over as promoter, starts stealing Mike's money. Robin Givens marries Mike and destroys him emotionally. Kevin Rooney, the last link to Cus, gets fired. Everything Cus built starts to crumble. Because Cus wasn't just teaching Mike how to fight, he was teaching Mike how to live, how to think, how to protect himself outside the ring. Without that guidance, Mike is lost. The anger that Cus channeled into boxing becomes destructive. The fear that Cus taught him to use becomes overwhelming. The discipline that Cus instilled disappears. By 1990, Mike loses to Buster Douglas. The invincibility is gone. By 1992, he's in prison. By 1997, he's biting Holyfield's ear. The fall is complete. Years later, in interviews, Mike talks about Cus with tears in his eyes. "He saved my life," Mike says. Without him, I'd be dead or in prison for life. He gave me everything, and when he died, I lost my way. Cus D'Amato died in 1985, but his legacy lived on through Mike Tyson, for better and worse. Cus created a perfect fighting machine, a weapon, but weapons are only as good as the hands that wield them. And when Cus died, nobody else could control what he built. Mike Tyson wasn't just a fighter. He was Cus D'Amato's masterpiece, his final work of art, the culmination of 50 years studying boxing, psychology, human nature. Cus took a broken, angry, terrified kid and turned him into a champion, not just by teaching him how to throw a punch, but by teaching him how to weaponize fear, how to break opponents mentally before the physical fight even started. That was Cus's genius. He understood that boxing isn't just physical, it's psychological warfare, and he created the perfect warrior. But he also understood something else. Without guidance, warriors destroy themselves. Mike Tyson proved both truths. With Cus, he was unstoppable. Without Cus, he fell apart. That's the real legacy of Cus D'Amato. Not just the championships, not just the knockouts, but the proof that greatness requires more than talent. It requires guidance, structure, love. Cus gave Mike all of that, and for a few perfect years, we witnessed what happens when genius meets potential. Then Cus died, and slowly, so did Iron Mike. But for those who saw it, for those who witnessed Mike Tyson in his prime, they weren't just watching a fighter. They were watching Cus D'Amato's final masterpiece. A 13-year-old boy who learned to weaponize fear and became the baddest man